Hi everyone, it's Reaching 8 from called Zodiac, and I hope that 2026 is seeing all of you well. It's only been a couple days, so hopefully things haven't gone totally off the rails for anybody so far. Today we have another interview style episode of the Zodiac Summoning Circle, and it's with a creator that I've been a fan of for some time, but had the pleasure of meeting in person when I was in California in December of last year. I'm really enjoying doing interviews with guests, and I'm going to continue doing these. But I know that a lot of people are very interested in what went on last year, so I'm going to do my best to get Goat Manjaro and Repentancy and maybe others on a podcast so we can discuss the LAN tournaments that I know that a lot of you guys are interested in from last year. Also, like with Worlds in 2024, expect a Worlds 2025 video of a similar style at some point in the first half of 2026. I can't promise exactly when it's going to come out, but I know that you guys want to see what the event was like, and obviously we did well there, so I want to get that out. As per usual, there's some Halo Infinite footage in the background, just messing around on BTB. These podcasts are supposed to be an audio experience more than a visual one, although in this one I have put in some visual cues for people who might not know what myself and the guests are speaking about. From all the Zodiac guys, we hope that you had a Merry Christmas, and here's to a Happy New Year. With no further ado, let's get into the interview. All right, so we're back for another episode of the Zodiac Summoning Circle. This time, another interview episode now that I'm back from California. And we're actually here with somebody who I met while I was out at LD50's LAN in Cali. I've been a fan of him for a long time. It's super bizarre that I ran into him. I am here with Photon, aka IPHOTONI. Yeah, Photon, the CE editor. Yeah, can you introduce yourself a little bit for people who don't know you? I think that you need no introduction, but yeah, if you could tell people, how you got into Halo, what kind of stuff you do.
Sure, I would be more than pleased to deliver that. So, firstly, I've lived under a rock proverbially with terms of editing and being a community member. It wasn't until around 2020 when I was making Halo montages. I'm sorry, I take that back. When I was making Halo video memes on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I actually became a part of uh like the Halo community, and people I believe actually began to know my name more. But to answer your question though properly, I am a, a Polish immigrant, uh, avid video editor since the age of 15, and I was raised Polish in Louisiana. And when I turned 15, I got my first desktop computer that had a capture card in it
Mm-hmm.
because a couple of years prior to that, I fell madly in love with a video game called Counter-Strike 1.6. And it's from that video game that I learned the term montage, and I was inextricably, um, hopelessly in love with this new art form known as video editing, montages. I've always considered myself a very artistic, creative individual since birth, honestly. And when I came across montage editing, I had hearts for eyes then, and I do now.
Mm-hmm.
That adrenaline pumping passion has never subsided for me for over 20 years now. I chase that feeling of finding the harmony between music and video. It's my favorite thing in life to do. It's my favorite hobby of all time. And so I was making montages for my friends in high school when I told them to go and record themselves on VHS for Halo 2 and Counter Strike on original Xbox. That's where I cut my teeth at, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of video editing, I edited for clans on Counter Strike Xbox, and like I said, I made my friends record themselves during Halo 2 on VHS, and then I would make a big ass movie out of that, and then other assorted montages after I did that, and I have been doing that pretty much for over 20 years, in which I create for my best friends online and offline for absolutely no dollar amount. I do it because I absolutely love doing it. I don't like putting a price tag on my projects. I haven't really done too many commissions. Vapor Reality is actually like my first proper commission,
Right.
in which he donated money. I didn't even ask for that money. I didn't even say a price tag on it. I just that's a conversation kind of for another time. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like putting a price tag on my videos, and that's pretty much who I am. I am a just hopelessly in love video editor, and I've been finding that as sort of my canvas onto which I like to put strokes of expressions and emotions and transform them into lovingly crafted videos that I spend uh, countless hours upon, and
Yeah, yeah.
and that's how I navigate my life is how can I make a cool video out of this certain project, and I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I can tell the Polish DNA came out when he somehow like discovered CS. You know, you can take the Polish person out of Poland, but you can't take the Polish out of him. You know what I mean? Because
I think
if
so.
people who don't know, right, like a lot of really great editors, a lot of amazing players as well. Polish, like the Golden Five guys, Neo
Oh man,
especially. Yeah,
yeah,
1.6.
Taz,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Do you have see this is a little bit off topic. We didn't talk about this
Hmm.
before, but was there any specific video that you saw back then for like a CS 1.6 frag movie? Because I used to watch
Yeah,
those a lot when I was younger.
yeah. So there was one individual that caught my attention the most. I'm not sure if he edited these videos, but I know the gameplay was by a professional player by the name of SK Heaton.
Yes.
I know next to nothing about this individual. I know next to nothing about, unfortunately, a lot of those individuals,
Yep.
except for Cloud9. I have
Okay.
spent I've spent several years watching nonstop Cloud9 recorded tournament videos or whatever.
Hmm.
But SK Heaton montages for some reason caught my attention the most.
Yeah, yeah. No, I loved Heaton's stuff. Heaton, I mean, you might know some of this, but a lot of people probably won't who come from Halo. He's like a legendary 1.6 player. He played for the team SK. A lot of Halo players are going to think of like SK Halo God or like the Halo clan called SK. There was
Uh-huh.
a team in Europe that was called SK. Heaton was a Swedish player. He played for them. He also played on the original version of Ninjas in Pajamas, NIP.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, in 1.6. And he's still somewhat, I think, involved with the NIP org today. And he recently got inducted into the Hall of Fame. Heaton did.
Oh
So he
shit.
quite a good player, especially
But he's
early
not active,
on.
huh?
No, he's not active. No, he's like 40 years old or something now. He's been retired
Mm.
for a while. I don't think he ever even played in CS:GO or CS2. But
Oh,
yeah, he's quite a good player. I used to like his play style where it was a lot of like movement and like spraying and stuff. It doesn't work so
right,
much with the new CS, and it even in
right.
1.6 it started to fall off. But he was super fucking good in the original
Yeah,
CS though. He was a great player. Yeah,
right.
that's a good
Yeah.
pick. Yeah, that's a
Thanks.
fantastic pick for a good montage player.
It inspired me.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
inspired me. I never knew that there was something, that there was an art form in which you can not just simply display gameplay, but do it in an artful manner that really caught my attention and ensnared my heart so deeply that I've been just it has become who I am today, and I don't I wonder where I would be had I not discovered, I suppose, the internet.
Yeah. Um, So I gotta ask about the tag, like the tag that you've chosen yourself, Photon. I think
Oh
when
my
we were
god.
in Cali, right, we were talking.
Oh
You're
my
like,
god.
"Yeah, my tag's actually interesting. There's a story," and I said, "Stop. We're gonna do this on an interview."
Oh,
So
I
can
forgot you
you?
said that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
So yeah, let's
this
talk about
is
it
the
now.
this is the ultimate cracking open of a can of worms, because that's one of the most that's one of my favorite things to talk about. My favorite stories, because it means a lot to me, because I'm very spiritual, and I am so all right. So I will begin by saying that my first tag my first idea of making tags and sticking to a dedicated tag was when I was playing Halo 1 when it first came out, and it ended up becoming hand in hand with CSX, Counter Strike for original
Hmm.
Xbox.
Hmm.
Those were the first games when I was like, okay, I want a name. That's my gamer tag. This is my dedicated thing. So my first tag was Faith. Actually it was F4I7H. Though that was the first tag I made, and then not too long after that, I was like, well, my name's Phil, so let me stick in the PH and be cute. So I made Faith, Phaith was my name for several years. And then around Halo 2, I changed. I was in a tag. I was in a clan actually called SK, Sheer Carnage.
Hmm.
They're a Canadian team, by the way. I've been wanting to tell you this for the longest time.
Oh, okay.
I was a video editor for a decently reputable Canadian-based professional uh, multi-gaming clan known as Sheer Carnage.
Hmm.
My leader his name is George, and he's in Mississauga.
Oh,
That's a hard one for me.
Mississauga, yeah.
Mississauga, yeah.
That's actually right next to Toronto, so that's relatively close to where I live. Yes. Yeah.
Amazing,
It's like a couple
amazing,
cities over, yeah. But he's within,
cool.
yeah, yeah. I could go drop in on. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's yeah, that is cool.
Yeah,
He's from where I'm from, pretty much.
that's awesome, man. His name was SK Primo, and well, his name was SK Arabian at first, and then for CSX, and then Halo 2 came around. He changed it to SK Primo. Anyways, that's going off topic. To stay on topic, I changed my name to SK Fade, Phade.
Hmm.
I went from Faith to Fade, and I was at that time um a bad boy. Yeah, I would smoke a lot of pot and drink a lot of alcohol. I picked up alcohol, and this is where the story gets dark because this is this is the truth. I became an I am a 11-year recovering alcoholic, and when I was SK Fade was like some really low points of my life with alcohol, and weed was kind of not that bad, but I was messing around with other drugs kind of. That wasn't that wasn't as bad as alcohol. That was the main nemesis kind of in my life.
Hmm.
I became really bad off on alcohol, and I started to really drift away from all of my uh, community and making content regularly for my people. I became more and more selfish in my addictions, and ended up going MIA for the longest time. Like, I ended up becoming very deeply under the proverbial rock, like completely separating from myself. So in 2014, I was sent to rehab, and I am proud to say that I've never taken a sip of alcohol since 2014. Like I said, I'm 11 years.
Hmm.
And when I got back home, I had this newfound perspective on life. I'm full of gratitude, and just I feel like I have a new purpose and clarified sort of mission in life, which is to share my love and light with the world through my videos,
Hmm.
through my passion for editing. Because if you put love into a certain thing, and this is what art is. This is why we need art. Art is a vessel of love. If you look upon it, experience it, consume it, read it, look at it, you then in turn feel that love. When you read Lord of the Rings, you feel something because it's pumped with love and thought provoking perspectives and such, and all these other manners of art, you know, like comic books, music, games, so on and so forth. So therefore, I got out of rehab and I was like, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do. I want to find a wife and I want to find a career, and I don't care if video editing will become that career. I know that video editing is who I am. It is who I'm supposed to be, and I completely embrace it. And so video editing is my way of sharing love and light with the world. So when I got out of rehab, I was like, I need a new name. And I don't know what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be a PH. It's got to be a PH because I want to continue this sort of series of PH. So I went to bed and it like immediately entered my brain, Photon. And it's been that name for 11 years. And so I tried to make the gamer tag, you know, regular Photon, PHOTON, but of course it was already taken. So I was like, well, I'll do all caps and I'll put a border on it. So that's how IPHOTONI was born.
Hmm. Right on. Yeah, so like just from me, man, congrats on staying sober from alcohol. I know that's really difficult. I think I've briefly talked about it before, but yeah, I'm pretty against people, drinking in excess and
Yeah.
especially doing any kind of like intoxicating substance in excess.
Uh-huh.
I'm a straight edge myself, so I can, yeah,
Yeah,
I congratulate you on what you
thank you.
managed to do, because you sound like you were really down bad with it and you turned everything around and you're great to hang out with now. So congrats, bro. Congrats.
I I I slapped my heart saying thank you. Um, to stack onto that, I have to say that I also quit my 10-year addiction to cigarettes, and 4 years ago I quit 17-year addiction to weed, which I can't believe I did that. So if anyone's listening and like struggling, just know that the power is within you. All you have to do is dig deep and figure out what you love in life that isn't centered around an addiction, a substance, or something that is honestly, you don't want to center your interests on things that are finite. Anything that's finite is going to make you disturbed when it runs out. So things that are infinite are the things that you love, like your hobbies, things that you can work on, like working out, exercising, going hiking, writing. These things are infinite because it comes from your heart. And if you can find and anchor yourself within those values, you will find a very fulfilling life.
Right on, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's awesome, bro. Um, so just to get back on subject a little bit,
Both show.
you we all know you for doing CE now, pretty much, right? But before you did
Yeah,
CE,
yeah,
you were talking about doing CSX, and you were doing the old Halo 2 and Halo 3 videos. Um,
yeah.
do you have a favorite from that time period? Especially when you were doing the older Halos, were there particular projects that you liked working on? Was there another game that you liked working on as much as or more than you like CE now?
So, hmm, you said besides Halo 1?
Yeah, so now you work on Halo 1, but before you did that, you were doing like the older Halos, right? Halo 2 and Halo
Yeah.
3, or I suppose the newer Halos from CE, but you were doing them before you started doing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
CE thing. So that's a little bit confusing chronologically. But for
Yeah.
Halo 2 and 3, was there like a favorite project, or did you really like working in one of those games, Halo 2 or 3?
Yeah, Halo 1 definitely takes the cake, I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie.
Yeah.
However, I to answer that question properly, I did have. I'm glad you asked that because that makes me realize like the second most loved thing I've done besides CE videos, and that would definitely be my Counter Strike montages. Those are
Okay.
so. I'm gonna take this opportunity and say that my frag movies Demolition and Demolition 2 for the CS:GO Xbox community are probably my second favorite non second favorite game videos that I've made after CE. I highly encourage anyone to watch Demolition 1 and 2. I spent nearly all year making each of those per year. I made Demolition in 2017 and Demolition 2 in 2018. And that's when that makes me want to tell you something kind of interesting that I've noticed my chronology of being an editor, in which that like the first several years, like when I was 15, when I encountered my love for video editing, I used Windows Movie Maker for probably I don't know, 3 to 5 years. I was using Windows Movie Maker mostly, and then I got like I ended up buying like a bundle of effects that added more to it, and then I realized that's like my first era of video editing, and then I upgraded to like Sony Vegas
Hmm.
for like a couple of years or something like that, and then I used something called Cyberlink Power Director. It's the most obscure fucking video editing program
Okay.
I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I used that to make Demolitions 1 and 2. I made a 24 episode CSGO Funtage series. That was like era 2, this Vegas and Cyberlink Power Director. And then I went to community college in the year 2019, 2020, and I finally stepped up to era 3 with Adobe. And now to this day I'm using Adobe, so I'm like in my third era in which I'm using the finest editing some of the finest editing software available, um, and I'm really happy to say that uh, that Demolition 1 and 2 were like the best thing I've made in my old era, I suppose you could
Right.
say. And Bostage, I made Bostage, which is my CS:GO Xbox montage. Um, the name coming from the title of the music track from a band called Knife Party,
Hmm.
who made a track called Boss Mode, and it's hype. It's hype as fuck, and I'm very proud of that montage. If anyone's listening, check that MFR out. If you like Counter Strike montages, I think that's one of my best stuff is Demolition 1 and 2 and Boss Taj.
Yeah, right on. So there's a significant jump in quality that we understand now because you changed to better editing tools for sure. But what
Yeah.
got you involved with like Halo CE and like Halo One Guide and that sort of group of people that you're known for today?
Okay, so that I would say is a two-part question. I would begin then with, well, so my introduction to CE is one of my favorite stories. My two favorite passions when I was growing up, before video gaming stole my my mind, because I ended up doing more video gaming than than outdoor activities. So my favorite activities before video gaming were fishing and skateboarding, mostly skateboarding. I'm still kind of decent at skateboarding. I haven't done it. It's been disappointing. I haven't touched it in a while. But skateboarding was probably my first like community of friends. That was my biggest thing, was
Mhm.
skateboarding. And I made a lot of friends at school. Well, I made a handful of friends, not that many, but we would hang out together a lot. We would go, to each other's houses on the weekends, spend a night, just so that we can experience other environments that are foreign to our home. And that was kind of the coolest thing to do back in the day. Fucking slap some candles in your back pocket and go scrub up some curbs and spend an entire day trying to 50-50 this like 4-inch tall curb. I'm sure people listening to this are like, yeah, I've been there. Those were the days.
Hmm.
Um, so to accelerate the story, my best friend at the time, Michael, he recently moved to this really nice new house that was like completely far away from my house. So he had this like really cool environment, like concrete wise for skateboarding that was a lot of fun. And there was this incredibly fateful day where I didn't even I don't know if I was even aware of Xbox. I, I may have been like vaguely aware it came out, but I never had the intention of like, oh, I gotta get one or whatever. I was at the time I was a PS1 player, and I still am. I'm an avid PS1 RPG collector. Shout out Hyena. Anyways, there was this incredibly fateful day where me and Michael, we woke up in the morning and we were going to go skateboarding, and um, going through his house, you have to like cross his like living room, like this like chasm where you have to like step down. And it's like this pit, and it was completely dark
Mhm.
to reach the front door. And we got to the top of the pit to look at the big widescreen television, and his brother is playing fucking, I think it was Truth and Reconciliation on CE. And man, ever since that first moment, I've been a Halo addict. Man, I could wax so long philosophically and spiritually on how moving that moment was. But we like watched him for a few minutes, and then we just went and skateboarded and had a good time. And then it slowly it like entered my subconscious, like, what was that? I have to play that. And dude, ever since that day, my interest in skateboarding declined, and my love for Xbox and Halo
Mhm.
like significantly climbed, like so much more than the skateboarding. And I became absolutely absorbed by the CE game, and therefore I was constantly playing with my CE community in the neighborhood. And that was like a nearly every weekend thing. You just go and pray that my mom can drop me off at my friend's house so we can play CE multiplayer all night long, all weekend long, and never feeling an iota of guilt for doing it, because it's just so damn satisfying. What CE did at the time was it was unprecedented. I had played like Medal of Honor online, not online, Medal of Honor split screen with like my brother, with it seemed like decent. But man, what CE was doing, it was just, it was this colossus of gaming that was just utterly unprecedented with the multiplayer presentation alone, just a multiplayer. But then you got the amazing campaign and the music and et cetera and so forth. But the multiplayer was something that none of us were very familiar with that, just that scope of of gaming where we could play 16 of us. That's what was so wild. Is like, man, there's 8v8. This, I'm used to going doing 1v1 Medal of Honor, or like this pathetic four player GoldenEye split screen. This thing was blowing everything out of the water. It was so addicting, to put it very simply. So ever since then, I was chasing that community. And then this thing called XBC came out, which had horrible internet connection, and that didn't really pan out for me. It had to be the LAN communities. And it wasn't until Halo 2 came around that we got to experience, online Halo. And that's where, man, that's where the rabbit hole really started to get deep, is when you got to make connections with individuals online over Halo. Because prior to that, it was, you had to be flesh and blood with the CE LAN. So um, I was like excited just like everyone else when Halo 2 and Halo 3 were coming out, because now I can just stay in my room and connect with millions of people online over Halo. It's not Halo 1, but this is pretty good. And a part of me never questioned, well, what happened to the Halo 1 LAN community, because Halo 2 and 3 were just so powerful back then. But now things are coming in retrograde, and I'm desiring the CE LAN more. So I'm trying to return to form, sort of go full circle by touching base and creating new bases with the CE communities that are available, and that's what brought us together was kind of the CE community at LD's in California. And little shameless plug, I am making a documentary now of for CE, well, LAN documentary for Halo 1, 2, and 3 that explains why making that community around such a dying game is so beautiful. But to continue answering your question, I was very pleased to discover one human being on MCC around the year 2017, 2018, who who I sh- who I shared at the time. I thought he was a rival, but he ended up becoming my new number one friend for playing Halo 1. We would play campaign and multiplayer till the cows came home, like nearly every weekend for years. And then this individual came to visit me, my first gamer friend to meet in person. His name is Slatchy, and he is so damn, like, he's a sweat. He's a tryhard. He's so into like encyclopedic knowledge of CE, of like how many shots it takes for every single weapon to kill, and how many melees, and just like every single facet, every piece of information that makes that game. He has this he had this passion to like document it and make a Halo 1 guide, right? He made a Halo 1 guide on like a Google Doc, this pathetic Google Doc. And he eventually upgraded it to a website that ended up being short-lived because it got like inundated with like bots from India or some such nonsense, and he gave that up. And then a little bit, not too much longer, he said he's gonna make a Discord, and I'm like, good, that's great. And then it was around that same time when man, I'm actually skipping a crucial thing. When right before he made the Halo 1 guide on Google Doc, him and I had an Xbox clan. There, you can make like these groups, these clans on like Xbox. I don't know if you can still do it, but we made one up called Halonymous. I made the logo for it, and me, him, and two other individuals were like this dedicated Halo 1 family. We were like the Halo 1 homies, our own little community. And then in parallel, he was developing his Halo 1 guide. And ultimately, when he made the Discord version of Halo 1 guide, is when Halonymous became no more, and Halo 1 guide Discord server was the go-to place for him and me. And so ever since about 2019, when I believe it was born, the Discord server, I have been his faithful graphic designer, and that's how I've been involved with the Halo 1 guide. Since day one, I have been supporting him with a plethora of artistic endeavors like original emojis, stickers, of course, montages, funtages, many different graphical promotionals. We recently had a 2v2 map contest in which I made graphics to show the milestone reporting on all the winners, because it was a whole process of that tournament. I've made of course the our most impressive piece of media to date. I'm proud to say the dig site multiplayer trailer, which reached the 15K. Mint Blitz covered it twice. We're very floored to have his support, and I'm very, very, very honored to say that this year has given us probably the most significant like boost in visibility and sort of um, reputation as a very inspired and dedicated Halo 1 community in the entire Discord.
Right on. So, as you've just touched on a little bit, you've done all sorts of different types of projects at this point. You did frag movies. Halo players call them montages, but we're both CS guys. You've done frag movies, so I'll say it.
Yeah.
You've done trailers. That one for Dig Site is amazing, by the way.
Thank
Shout
you.
out to
Thank
that
you.
for sure. Um, you've done like some like clip video and playthrough stuff, and now you're doing like interviews and documentary work. Hoping to get that out before too long, I'm sure. Is there a particular favorite type of content that you do, or are there like pros and cons to each type? Like, do you like making montages the most, or do you actually enjoy doing something else and montages just kind of like fill the space? Or what's your favorite type of video to make?
Montage is 100%
Okay.
conversation closed. I fucking love montage editing so much, and it's particularly because when and I'm sure most editors will attest to this, what motivates me to make my montages is the music. I live my life and I don't think about montages, and then I come across a track that pulls my heart so deeply, I immediately think I need to convert this, translate this into a montage. And therefore, all of my montages are made out of sheer passion because of the music and a profound desire to make that music flow with the video. And I highly recommend everyone to do the same thing, because in this way you can find a work of passion that feels inspired. There's a saying that goes, to inspire you must be inspired yourself. So if you're not feeling inspired by the things you create, then you're wasting time. You're not going to produce anything for anyone of merit, because that's ultimately what art is. It's inspiring others. So find the thing that inspires you and then go from there. So the montage editing to me is a it's not quite, can't quite find adequate words for expressing how close it is to my heart and how um, much it means to me. And Halo has become my favorite medium in which to express that desire. Counter Strike kind of fell away
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot of people were facepalm, but my favorite Counter Strike it was on the Xbox, original Xbox, and CS:GO for the 360. And those communities have definitely died and fallen away. I think the Brazilians took over the CS:GO for 360, but um, I have found a home in CE because there is a community of people here. There is an audience here, and I'm happy to not just do montage editing, but to answer your question, yeah, man, absolutely, fucking A. I love montage editing so much. I'm gonna be making some more for Kaiser here, and Cupid. Cupid is the guy who is Vapor Reality.
Yep. Yeah, a question about your montaging, because you do something that I think is really important, and some editors do it, some editors don't. But you do trailers and like promotional stuff for your montages, which is
Yeah.
something that I started doing like independently. You know, I don't think that I was even tracking that you did trailers at the time where I was doing it, and I've noticed that Zutrukio also does it, but a lot of
Uh.
people just kind of like put their stuff out there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Whereas like
Mhm.
when I'm looking for the new Photon video, it's like I see you talking about it on Discord or on Twitter, and then I see like a trailer for it, like a minute long, teaser or whatever, and then there's like
Yeah.
an announcement trailer, and then there's the actual video, right? What got you
Yeah.
into doing that? Like, what was your thought process of doing the trailers?
That's a fantastic question, and you do shed a light on how that's kind of an under observed uh sort of art form. It's primarily to raise visibility and awareness to a work of art that movie, that frag movie, that certain product that we are saying is about to come out, it whenever there's a trailer that precedes it, it pretty much is telegraphing to the world what I'm about to release means so much to me, and I think you will enjoy it so much, and I so very much would like you to watch it and get hyped about it. Let me show you a teaser of what's to come. So it's like a self promotional, like self marketing thing for something that means a hell of a lot to us. Let me take a step back. Power frag movie, I did like the teaser trailer, like announcement trailer, and then I do a like a proper trailer. So I'll do like two trailers
Hmm.
prior to a frag movie, and I've done that for the Demolition X Counter Strike videos as well. But then I guess a lot of artists can say the same. I found this evolution within myself to go a step further when I did Vapor Reality. I was like, man, I want to do something even more excessive and ambitious, in which that I did not just the teaser trailer and a release date trailer. I also did a 10-day countdown on Twitter where I made I got a community member in Halo 1 guide to send me. He did like these like he did this he made these like really, I don't know, I don't know how he made these, but he had these like 3D rotating images, these videos of like a computer rotating like a 360
Okay.
and some other things, and I superimposed that on the background of like an image, a screenshot of Vapor Reality, and I made 10 of those, and I did a 10-day countdown by posting 10 days left, 9 days left, for Vapor Reality on Twitter. So I was I was I went a step further on pretty much it's self-marketing, but it's because I put 300 hours and $300, and then I know that sounds coincidental, but it's truly true. I spent that much time, money, and effort on creating Vapor Reality, and I just wanted to do my damn best to make sure the community at least sees that it's available, because it means a lot to me to have a participating audience for something that I've shamelessly destroyed my mental health into creating. Vapor Reality, like, oh my God. I get really obsessive. A lot of artists get really obsessive, and I think you kind of have to sort of get to sort of reach a whole new tier of quality. You kind of have to want to be obsessed about a certain thing so that you really stand out from the crowd. And you don't even really necessarily do it because you want to stand out from the crowd to be like entering a new hierarchy. You don't do it for like, at least I don't really do it necessarily for clout. I do it because I truly love my craft and I want to push myself to a new degree that can give me and others even more joy, because if I know that if I can just push myself into a more higher caliber, then I can expand and evolve and be more of a photon, I guess.
Hmm.
Be more of a loving
You
source of
bring more
joy.
to more people, right? Like spread it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
value. I want to make
yeah.
more value is what that basically is, and it's not very healthy. Trust me. Dude. Oh my God, I'm bad, dude. I have gone on consistent like mental health breaks after my projects. I was on a mental health break before I made the Dig Site multiplayer trailer, and
Hmm.
that is a story to tell because that was on a. I ended up making that on a very constrained time crunch. Within like 1 month I had to make that, and it was very stressful, and I'm very happy that that became what it is, because I was stressed the fuck out. I really I took a summer break after I made a bunch of stuff earlier this year. Like Kaiser Core is one of my favorite videos I've made, in which I spend all day in my bedroom all weekend long, just slaving away, staring at my screen, doing video editing, and it's not the healthiest thing to do. I don't recommend it, but I feel justified for doing it after I've created my fruit and share it
Mhm.
with the world. People enjoy the fruit, and it lives on forever. So I don't know. That's a kind of another topic to kind of debate over, but I think it's worth sometimes destroying yourself for the name of art.
Well, you'd be surprised who this stuff reaches and who actually likes it and what becomes of it, right? Like, we talked about some of your old videos. Like, bro, I saw your stuff when you made fucking Matchmaking Massacre,
I
right?
can't
People,
believe
yeah,
you're saying
yeah.
that.
If people go watch that now, so definitely it wasn't for nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you felt like you had to create a project, right? And
Yes.
it bounces around out on the internet and it affects people or whatever, and then you meet someone, whatever, 20 years, 15 years later or something, who's like, yeah, I like that video that you did, right? And
Yeah.
and now I'm doing videos and stuff too, you know. So it is worth it. It is worth it. These things do play out if you put your all into it.
I
um
appreciate that.
yeah.
Thank you.
I
That's very justifying.
wanted to ask about trailers though, because I love doing trailers and stuff. I think it's really fun. I actually like doing that whole like promotional lead up. I think that
Yeah,
gives it gives the
it's
community
wise.
something to like sink their teeth into too. Like back when
Yes.
there was like Halo forum and stuff, people would, oh, there's gonna be this big video coming out, right? So for some big videos, people do that, but we're in a bit of like a down period right now with Halo, right? So if you're gonna
Yeah.
release something good, and maybe you're not like the most known name, and you start putting out trailers like, yeah, my shit's gonna be good. I mean, it's gonna attract people. Everyone who sees it is gonna have a good reaction to it. They're gonna appreciate it, even if it is sort of like underwhelming at the end or whatever. Like at least you're gonna give them something to be excited about, right? So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I think that's something that people maybe sleep on too much, and it's fun to do. I think I think we both ended up doing like Twitter campaigns for a video or something in the last 5 years. So that's cool that you're
Huh.
doing that, and I love the way that you promote your stuff and like big up your stuff. I
Oh,
think it's
thank.
very smart, and people should
Yeah.
learn lessons from that who do videos. A lot of our viewers do video content of some type, so definitely look
Mm-hmm.
at what Photon was doing before releasing Power, the CE Frag movie, and before releasing
Yeah.
Kaiser Core.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I can, if I can build on that real quick, how to properly tell this story. So when I acquired my knowledge of Adobe, which is one of my favorite stories, I'll try and condense this because it's kind of going off track, but it has its worth. So I I fell in love with this thing called rotoscoping. This is one of the like I can't tell a photon story without rotoscoping
Yep.
because it's like my cherished favorite form of editing that I think has become not entirely my signature, but it kind of is
Mhm.
a decent bit because most editors abhor rotoscoping
Mhm.
because it's so tedious. I freaking love it. It's equatable to stop motion. That's how
Yeah.
tedious it is because it's literally frame by frame editing. But more to the point, when I in 2020 we were blessed with the COVID stimulus. I blew my COVID stimmy on a $2,000 gaming laptop just so I can make my own rotoscopes because prior to that, like I said, I was making Halo video memes like for over 2 years, and I was downloading. Uh, it's also called green
Mhm.
screen rotoscope videos. Uh, of ones already created by other people, and it's on YouTube. Where and I'll briefly explain this for people who are scratching their head, like what are you talking about? Green screen rotoscoping. It is the technical extraction of foreground from background. So
I can explain it a little bit. I used to do this when I was in college too. What you do is there's like an actor on the screen in a movie or even in like a
Yeah.
cartoon or something. You digitally will cut around them, so that way you can take out just that character moving, and then you can superimpose it or layer it on top of something else, right? So if you need to see an
Right.
example of what we're talking about with rotoscoping, go watch the video Vapor Reality, which is by Photon, and you'll see that there are sections where there will be like characters from like anime or from like
Mhm.
RoboCop or whatever that are layered on top.
Yes.
What he's done there is
Yes.
he's cut
Thank
them
you.
out of their scene, and he's layered it on top of Halo
Yeah.
footage. That's what we're talking about with rotoscoping for people who don't know.
Yes, thank you very much. That's exactly it. I was struggling on trying to think of a movie title, and I was for some reason gonna say Thanos, but I
Yeah,
never watched those.
yeah.
Anyways, so my point of saying this is that I'm when I upgraded to Adobe, I fell in love with rotoscopes and green screen videos slash green screen videos because of I was making video memes, and I was like, man, I want to make my own rotoscopes. So I ended up getting, let me say, the remainder of where my money went is I bought this gaming laptop with my COVID stimmy. I bought a like $700 ODST cosplay outfit, and I bought this like $300 Halo 3 SMG from like Italy, and a green screen, of course, a green screen with the lights, and that was in 2020. And when I acquired these items, I was like, I had this idea to make a Halo skit show. Like, think Chappelle Show, but Halo, and I made a Twitter for it called Halo O'Clock. It I made a few videos where I'm like acting in front of the green screen, and those are kind of funny. I put myself I made a convenience store in Blood Gulch, and I'm the clerk is one of the videos called the Inconvenience Store.
Mhm.
You can go check that out maybe some other time. But what I'm trying to lead to is that as I acquired all this equipment, it dawned on me that I have the itch to make montages again and not just memes. So I was in this mood to make memes and montages. So I made my first two CE montages with my new equipment um called Whip It and You Can't Touch This. I my first thing I rotoscoped ever in 2020 was the famous music video by Devo, Whip it into shape, go forward. You know, I I I took that and put it on my own Halo 1 montage, and I'm very proud of what became of that. That's my very first rotoscope video,
Mhm.
and then well, I should also like to gush and say that it took me a month creating those rotoscopes. A month alone and extracting those, and then another month to make the montage. And then right after that, just a fever rush of wanting to make these. I took MC Hammer's "You Can't Touch This" music video, and also spent an entire month. Well, not entire like every weekend for a month. I only create mostly on the weekends. So I made "You Can't Touch This" Halo 1 montage of my footage as well, a little bit of Slatchy's clips on there too. And I was very proud of these montages because I was going to submit them to a Discord server called Halo Uploads. This is a very big story to tell that I believe deserves a bit of a moment because it's the Halo montaging contest community that I purchased it. I made these two montages, these rotoscope montages, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna submit. I'm gonna win. I'm so excited. I was gonna submit them to Halo Uploads, and nothing was happening. It was stagnant. It was crickets. It was tumbleweeds. Nothing was happening. Dust was accruing in the corners, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna buy this MFer. I'm buying this. So I ended up buying this Halo Uploads montage contest Discord and the Twitter and the YouTube I made. And I, for a year and a half, I ran montage contests. Hyena was involved. I had a lot of people involved, and I made the first year a retroactive contest, which was 2022, and I was very sympathetic about all these individuals who made their submissions just like me that went nowhere. They were promised a contest, they didn't get shit. And so I spent the year, I think 2022, in which I had three contests. The first the first third was montages made in 2020, and then second segment of the year 2021, and then the third segment 2022. They went great. And then the next year I did a 2023 montage contest for the first half, and then my mental health was just absolutely uh, uh, um, very difficult for me, and I crashed. I crashed, and I aborted Halo uploads, and I ended up making Vapor Reality because I had a terrible itch for montage editing, and I was feeling very exhausted with being an admin for Halo uploads. They went very well, but as I was aborting Halo uploads, this other individual by the name of PTW, he exhibited the most exuberance and passion for montaging and the entire community, and he ended up telling me he's got his own idea for a frag movie montage editing community called Frag Movie Arts. And at first, I was taken aback. I was like, "Dude, why are you doing this? Why can't?" I was like, "Why can't you just join me?" And then I realized how grateful I was because I was mentally exhausted and I aborted Halo uploads. And so, as of this recording, Frag Movie Arts is the Halo montage contest community to be a part of. Um, and I am one of three judges for that. We just concluded one earlier this year, the first one, and we're starting another one next year. But I felt like I had to
Yeah, yeah.
divulge the montage history there
Right on.
because I kind of appeared out of nowhere. I think to a lot of people, I was video editing for my friends, and I didn't became on the map as it were until the
Halo
Halo,
uploads, yeah.
well, no, the Halo video memes in
Oh, okay.
2020, and then Halo uploads is when I became a Halo montage guy on the map, and so I am relatively new to a lot of people. I feel like, and I am here to stay.
Right on. So we talked a lot about frag movies so far, but you've been talking about how you're doing this land documentary.
Ooh,
What inspired you to do like a documentary style video instead of a frag movie?
yeah, I love that question. That's a really good question. Um, it 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 would require a proper answer would require a multi answer. So the first thing that comes to my mind is that I feel like I have this ongoing desire to push myself as a human being and as an artist. If we can drill down to the artist aspect, I have I have come from making simple montages, and then I gravitated to making frag movies, which are essentially compound montages, which are like three, 4 part montages, like four freaking montages, and one serving, as it were. And then I started making trailers for them, and I'm like, I want to keep growing my passion for making content. So one of the reasons I wanted to make a doc, I was like, man, I would love to travel the country and make a movie because I've never done that. I've never spent money to travel to make a video. I've never done something like that. That sounds so ambitious and exciting. Sign me up. I want to do that. That sounds like the next big thing I can do. It sounds so much fun. So honestly, one of the answers then is it just sounds fun. It sounds incredibly fun to do. And then the second part to it is, of course, this I feel a calling. It's hard to describe. I feel there's this void, I, I guess, in the realm of documentaries for Halo. I might be wrong, but I really don't believe There is a comprehensive, in-depth, structured, episodic delivery of episodes that cover who is the Halo LAN people? Who are these people?
Right.
Why are they still playing this archaic glimmer in time of a form of gaming that is utterly archaic and nearly discarded and forgotten? What drives these people? Why are they still doing it? Why is and these are some of the questions in my interviews that I've been doing for the documentary is why is Halo important to you? Why is Halo LAN important to you? Why should introverts get out of their bedrooms to play LAN? Why should they? Because nowadays everything's online and it's cultivated, I would argue, a very unhealthy mental health society that is just tearing themselves, they're rotting away, honestly, in their bedrooms, and I think that's terrible. And conversely, that what the LAN community is doing is so beautiful because it gets people and it gets gamers into a social and a healthier mental state, and I think that deserves a story to be told. I think that is a story that needs to be told, is having these individuals, as I interview them, tell me why are why is there value here. And it's been very heartwarming to hear that everyone is saying the same thing in so many words, and that is identity. It is affirming our own personal identity, which is very important, which I think contributes to mental health, and community, camaraderie, the socializing that comes with the LAN, and all of these factors ultimately sort of pedestalize the need for mental health, which is a incredibly overlooked and I would say a poison in society of what online gaming is doing is destroying mental health, and that's kind of a whole nother, I feel like that's a whole nother
Mhm.
I could easily divert into that. But to answer it, that's the second answer, is I feel there's a need to share the story, this untold story of a rare breed of gamers that refuse to let go of an old style form of gaming and give visibility to that, which leads me to the third answer. It was a desire for fun, and it's a desire to give visibility for the Halo community, this rare breed of Halo community. And the third answer is that it gives Halo community itself a I just feel like it would give the Halo community a win. So the third answer is like, I think it's the content the community needs in an otherwise morale low moment in the community at large. So
Right on.
morale boosting for the community, because it's fun to me and because it's a story that needs to be told that otherwise hasn't been.
Yeah, right on, man. So you've gone to a lot of lands in order to make this Halo Land documentary. I know that you're going to be going to more. You don't have to list them all. Not telling you to pick a favorite, but can you just say a couple of the ones that you've gone to, just so people get an idea of what you've attended so far?
It's kind of it's been humble
Yeah, yeah.
as of now, but so I am currently living in Denver, and I moved here 4 years ago. I'm from Louisiana, but I've been living in Denver for 4 years, and it's only within, believe it or not, within like 3, 4 months ago that I discovered there's a Halo LAN community here by the name of Colorado Evolved, and they predominantly play Halo 2 and Halo 3. But recently there has been an upsurge of interest in Halo 1, and so I have participated with them I think I've done like 5 or 6 lands with these individuals. So I've done a handful here in Denver, and recently, a couple months ago, I went to Hasuku's CE LAN at a hotel in Salt Lake City. And the most recent one, in which you and I met, of course,
Mhm.
but to the listeners, we and I we played and filmed in a town in North California, sorry, by the name of Livermore. Uh, but that group is called the NorCal Halo Group, run by LD52, and that's really it. I've only done a few locations.
Mhm.
I will take this opportunity to knock on wood and say that I am very proud to possibly say there's a very good chance because it's actually happening, but I'm about to meet Puckett next month. He is doing a LAN here in Copper Mountain, Colorado, like the first weekend of January. And then I'm very overwhelmingly happy to say that in the same month I will very possibly be seeing Kaiser Ramirez in Albuquerque, whom I made a montage for, Kaiser Core, whom I believe to be, if not at least, top 3 best CE player in the world as of now. And
For
then
MCC, that's undeniable. You know, like the
at
dude
least,
is crazy. Yeah, yeah,
at least for C, yeah,
yeah,
for CE though,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
MCC, CE, and then I am possibly going to Massachusetts in February. I saw a post in Halo on Facebook of a Halo 3 LAN, and they look very robust and packed, and I've have been communicating with that individual, so I want to do that. And then there's of course Beach LAN, the famous Beach LAN. I think that's Florida, yeah, near Daytona Beach. I will be attending that, which is like a very intense week long sweats, CE sweats,
Mm-hmm.
and an individual in our community by the name of Born. He's about to he's been preparing for a long time his CE land center, and of course our beloved Slatchy who does Tex Land. Him and a guy named Pope, shout out Pope, the map master. He also lives in Texas, and they will host lands, and I think it's Houston or Dallas and San Antonio, Antonio. So I will be traveling the country for the next year, using my paid time off at work, and making a Halo Land documentary. Oh, and this this leads me to saying that the other fourth reason the reason to make the LAN documentary, it was when I met these Colorado Evolved guys. I was playing Halo with them, and they used to host their LANs at a game store called Games Ahoy, and it's very cramped there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a game store, and like at this like back corner, they would have actually a 16-man LAN, and that's where I kind of met them. But then, somewhat recently, they kind of relocated to an esports venue, which is amazingly 10 minutes away from my house. And there is this, it's called Local Host. This is esports venue, and it's got the works, dude. They have like a stage for the 5v5 computers, and like rows of computers to like, it's also like an internet cafe. You can just go there and game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a very long row where we set up LAN with our CRTs, and these Colorado Evolved guys have been lately hosting over there, and it was there where I recently was hanging out with them and playing and filming, and I'm like the only guy filming there, and it dawned on me at the end of at the end of one of those nights. I was like, I'm gonna interview these guys because I can, because I have a camera, and think I'm gonna make them promotional content. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make some promotional content for them instead of just making simply a video. I'm gonna put like their the their answers and put it on the backdrop of the clips of me recording them playing, having a good time, and put it on Reddit. I'll make some promotional content. And at the end of that night, I was really like kind of discouraged because I made them use my phone to make a video to really record their voice because I was like, I don't really have a microphone. And when I got home, I was like, dude, this is pathetic. So
Mhm.
I invested in a lavalier microphone off of Amazon for $100, and that was the inception of making a Halo LAN documentary. I was like, dude, I'm gonna keep recording these guys, and furthermore, there's a freaking Halo 3 GameStop mural over here, which is like 20 minutes
Yeah,
away from me,
yeah,
and I'm gonna, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna make promotional content, and I'm gonna interview these guys in front of the Halo 3 mural, and then it started to really hit me. I'm like, why don't I just go to all of these lands in the country and make a full-blown documentary? So that was the true inception to the Halo LAN documentary, was the Colorado Evolved guys. When I was like, man, I've got I've got material I can make here. There's potential here to make something original. And then of course Slatchy's like, hey, come to the Tex LAN. And I'm like, I might. And then it started to dawn on me. I'm just gonna fly to all these LAN locations and make a documentary and interview all of these guys. And so
yeah.
thank you for participating in that regard.
Oh, of course. Yeah, so I mean, all of us at Called Zodiac wish you the best of luck in continuing to do this. We've done some event videos ourselves, so we know like the challenges of it, and it's difficult. And what you're doing is really ambitious. So if we can help in any way, just
Oh well.
reach out to me or any of them, and we'll try to get you whatever you need, footage, interviews, whatever you want.
Uh,
Um,
sure,
but
sure.
yeah, yeah, dude, best of luck and safe travels as you get that done. I'm super excited to see that. It's a massive undertaking, and I appreciate what you're
Thank
doing.
you, thank you.
Um, yeah, so is there anyone, as we sort of wind down a little bit, that you want to highlight in the community, or any like specific communities that you want to give a shout out to, either within like the Halo 1 kind of space or elsewhere? Obviously, we've talked about Slatchy and Halo 1 Guide and like
Oh,
Colorado
absolutely,
Evolved, and anyone else that you want to
absolutely.
talk about?
Um, absolutely. I'm going to say I'm looking at my Discord friends list, and I'm just
Mhm.
gonna give all the shout outs. Uh, okay, so Colorado Evolved people: Pine Sauce, James Mantos, Graham, aka OGT Dark Lord, Zoni, J1, Wee Woo, um, Silver Fox, hell yeah, Silver Fox, Blackjack Brax
Yep.
from the LDs, of course LD50 himself. Shout out Wormhole.
Yeah, yeah.
That
That
guy
guy's a
is,
character, man. He's awesome.
dude. Oh my, he was. So I've been explaining to people that like I went to that I was like, hey, I went to like a Halo LAN where we just play Halo all day. But there was this one guy, he was this like human fixture who just sat there and got stoned all day, and he was just like completely passed out sometimes, and and people were like, yeah, that's Worm.
Hmm.
But he's great. He was a good soul. Um, of course, Idol from that
Yep.
land. Of course, you, reaching 8. Um, oh, okay, art sensitive. Oh, D Dog, of course, as well. Got a shout out to my boy Renzo PTW. Good
Yep.
job for chasing your passion for not just montage editing, but creating a space for montage editors in general, and having a contest that celebrates that culture because it needs something like very badly. Map editor Fable Law. He made my favorite map from that 2v2 map contest
Hmm.
recently we had by the name of Cascade. It's kind of like a Battle Creek sort of vibe. Got a shout out to my boys No Name, Split, Pope from the Halo 1 guide. Rocker, of course, my homie that I met here in Colorado, and Got to play with him. He went to Salt Lake City with me, and let's see here. Got a shout out to Momentum, J Reese, Furion, Stumpy McGirth, TOC Cupid, my boy from Vapor Reality, TOC Blazer. Um, I will shout out to Vengeful Venom. He's been a good guy. Uh, Newbie, he gave me a place to stay in Salt Lake City. Hasuku, he threw the Salt Lake City LAN. Good, great guy. Those are great guys right there. Obey Marty, terrific map editor. Punny88 for keeping it real. Spore Frog for probably making my favorite CE montages of all time. Born, keep doing best of luck with your LAN. Reflections, you're one of my favorite montage editors of all time. Zyber, my fellow sober Halo buddy, keep it going sober. Epsilon, you're a badass. Kaiser Ramirez, you're a badass too, man. I can't wait to meet you. And you keep the CE flame alive. Bill Jansen, you're hilarious. Um, Trukio, you're one of the best. Hyena, you're one of the best. You guys are absolute legends. And I will stop there.
Yeah, and
uh,
if obviously I'm kind of grilling you right now, so if you forget some names or whatever, I'm sure
okay.
there's tons of people, but
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
no, some awesome names in there though. You got a good friends list. You got a good community of
Oh, thank
people
you.
working with you, man.
Yeah, I feel so blessed, dude. Oh man, when you put your mind frame in a state of constant gratitude, that's like one of the secrets in life I've learned is
Right.
if you truly have gratitude, like the universe provides. I've noticed that. It's honestly like the most attractive. It's the most attractive thing to hear when people say thank you. It actually does something for you,
Absolutely.
that's a very underrated sort of currency. But yeah, I feel very blessed to have such a great crowd of friends, and I'm very happy to say that I believe it's gonna only get bigger and bigger because like I got to meet you in person and art in person, art sensitive. Um, that was so cool and unexpected, and it just leads me to believe that that's that really like validates my desire not to just be a Halo player and an editor, but like as a human being. Like this is my purpose. This is my identity. I embrace it. And I do that, I feel like more comes my way because I found my tribe. And so that when I travel the country and meet more people and I know that I will meet even more and more and make more and more friends and make and add more and more value to my life and I can add value to their life. And that right there, that statement of mutual value is what I think is the best thing to sort of acquire in life. Like money and sex is great and all, but I think if you can add value to other people's lives is the best thing to do.
Right on, man. I think that's an amazing way to conclude this out. This has been Photon. Thank you so much, Photon, for
A-
giving us your time.
Absolutely. It was one of the greatest pleasures. I love to explain and tell the story of my passions, and I'm glad that you are pursuing a conduit in which others can express the same.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching.